Welcome to the KyberSisu, the cybersecurity journey in Finland, the show where we dive into the world of cybersecurity careers. Whether you are just starting out, interested in the field, or you are a professional, this podcast is for you. I am MaysAl-Azzawi, and today I am excited to host my guest Suubi. Suubi has a great background in cybersecurity, working in big company here in Finland, and he just established his own business. So let's start the show by welcoming our guest. Hello, Suubi. How are you?
Hi, I'm quite fine. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you end up in cybersecurity and your current role?
Yeah, so just to keep it short, my
Thank
name is Suubi Lubaale. I'm a cybersecurity apprentice. I'm in my final year of studies at Savonia Amatikorkeakolu in Kuopio. So I got into cybersecurity around my third year of studies in IoT, the Internet of Things course. So actually, I got into it because I was quite confused about what I wanted to do. Because in IT, I had a knack for IT, but I wanted to make an impact basically, and I didn't feel like what I was learning at that time was leading me towards that place. So I decided to rethink everything, and that's when I found out about cybersecurity, and I took some time to research about it to see about how I fit into cybersecurity, because I'm not someone who's just driven by making money as most people would, but I'm driven by making an impact and doing something that I'm passionate about. So I made that step to dive into cybersecurity. So I began by taking the Google Cybersecurity Professional Certification course for about 6 months. And it was a really challenging 6 months because I had to juggle in between my school studies and the course.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but
it is a private course.
yeah.
Okay.
So I had to pay for the course actually.
Okay.
And uh, it was quite tough during that time because I was still going to school and doing that course. But I sacrificed knowing in mind that I knew what I wanted to achieve upon completion of the course. And there were a few bumps along the way. And at some point, I wanted to give up, especially when I started learning about networking and cybersecurity. It was really hard learning the protocols and all those things. But I kept on pushing. I finished the course, and things just started falling into place after that. Yes.
Great. Great. What an interesting journey.
Yeah.
What is the most challenging part in your current role or your current studies?
The most challenging part of my current role, where I am, because I'm an information security intern at Landis+gyr. So my current challenge is adjusting to the demands of an international company, because it's my first time working for a company of this magnitude. So their demands and expectations are different, but I like the challenge because it pushes me to become better, and also it brings out the best in me because it doesn't keep me in my comfort zone, but it makes me go outside the box, think about things in from a different perspective. So I would say that would be the challenge in my role. But in my studies, the challenge is aligning Internet of Things with cybersecurity. Because in our course, the course I was doing was an engineering course, so it was mostly about technical things, but we never really dived deep into cybersecurity. So I challenged myself to go outside and do cybersecurity, and I've done a couple of projects within my school, and I've built a reputation amongst my lecturers and peers in terms of cybersecurity. So anything cybersecurity as of now, most people would reach out to me from the school, and it feels good to inspire people who we are in the same course, and also people in the courses below me, so that they can learn from my experiences, and also it helps to shape them into proficient cybersecurity professionals. Yeah.
Wow, just interesting. And you mentioned that you have or you started your open business or an idea. What you can share about cyber everywhere is all about, and what is your future vision for it?
Yeah, so Cyber Everywhere is actually in the process of being formally established. So it's a social enterprise, and it aims to simplify democratize and universalize cybersecurity, particularly for non-governmental organizations. Because growing up, my parents worked for non-profit organizations, and I kind of had that connection with them growing up. So when I started my cybersecurity journey, gaining professional experience, my first job was for a non-profit in Kenya, the Health NGOs Network in Kenya. So that project, we were tasked with helping 10 non-profits in Kenya to develop or to strengthen their cybersecurity resilience. So that experience was an experience that was challenging because the non-profit sector is quite difficult because they're quite unfamiliar with cybersecurity. But as the project went along, the love for not just doing cybersecurity but helping non-profits as they push their goal of improving the welfare of people, it gave birth to Cyber Everywhere. So Cyber Everywhere was formed with that target of making cybersecurity accessible for non-profits. So we aim to provide to them cybersecurity capacity building services, helping them to train their staff, and also to build secure and scalable solutions with what they already have. Yeah.
And the idea that it will be established or to help companies here in Finland or in Kenya or in anywhere in the world. What's your vision?
Yeah, so initially our plan was to establish it in Finland. So we went into a competition that is quite known in Kuopio. It's called a draft program. But unfortunately, we didn't make it through because we were seeking for seed funding to start up the business. So we are now recalibrating and replanning, but we hope that from beginning of March, we'll get everything sorted out, begin setting up the business, but we'll set it up initially in Kenya. And then later on, we'll establish more offices in different countries, depending on the success of the business, because we want to start in Kenya due to the already established partnerships that we have in Kenya. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think everyone in the world, they need some awareness about cybersecurity.
Yeah.
And this kind of business, they are really in need, and I wish you good luck with it.
Thank you.
Well, nowadays technologies, they are all talking about AI, the artificial intelligence.
Yeah, true.
What is your opinion about AI in cybersecurity?
I think AI is kind of a double-edged sword in that there is the good side and the bad side. From the good side, I would say that it's revolutionizing cybersecurity because it helps to automate processes. Because nowadays, instead of the manual way of securing systems, you can now automate large processes and make security more efficient. But on the other side, it's also increasing the sophistication of attacks that are there nowadays, because people can use AI to launch things like brute force attacks in large numbers because of the use of AI. So I think it's more of a double-edged sword. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the future we will see how it will play a role in
Definitely.
cybersecurity.
But hopefully, my hope is that we don't use AI for bad, but we use it for good.
Yeah, that's true. Well, what tips do you have to someone who is starting or interested in this field, willing to enter cybersecurity? What would you say to him or her?
I would say to them, before you get into cybersecurity, what I tell people is that don't get into it just because you want to make money. Because most people are myopic in the sense that you're driven by money. And sometimes if you're driven by money, when you face those challenges along the way, it's easier for you to give up. So see whether you actually have that passion for cybersecurity, whether it would be wanting to use it to build systems, whether it would be to benefit people or to help communities. Make sure cybersecurity aligns with a passion or something that you love. And then another thing that I would say is that try and see how you fit into cybersecurity. Because for me, I looked at my soft skills like communication, collaboration, and other soft skills that I possessed. So when I looked at those soft skills and aligned it with cybersecurity, I was able to move into a sector of cybersecurity that was able to depend on those skills that I had, because cybersecurity is really broad and quite vast. And with the domains that it has, most people think that cybersecurity is one-dimensional, but there are so many facets of cybersecurity. So just make sure you know where your soft skills align, and then know whether you are willing to go all the way with it, because it adapts, it evolves quite fast. So you might want to do something specific, and within few years it's no longer there. So just find something that you know that with time, even if cybersecurity evolves, it would still need you. So once that is done, then gain confidence, have an open mindset, like learn from people. It doesn't need to be textbooks, but connect with people, learn from people. That's what I did, because I learned from people who I connected with physically and also online, who gave me some of their tips from their experiences and all those things. And also have probably one underrated tip would be listening to podcasts like this one and other podcasts. Use them to gain information, because there's something you hear from a podcast that would redirect you to something else. So these podcasts like this are very beneficial, because they educate, and there's a lot of informal learning that contributes towards you becoming a successful cybersecurity professional.
And it is a story about people who had been in this journey already, and they know how to succeed. And you mentioned very important things like soft skills, networking. They are really important. Sharing with us your knowledge and information. Thank you for having you here with us, and thank you for everyone who watching this podcast, and hope to see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you.